In Friday's Quarantine Happy Hour, I played well-known music of my lifelong music superhero, Frank Sinatra. And for over 7 decades, I experienced many hours up close with the preeminent Blue Eyes and his magical music. In this video, I'm sharing copyright-free images and narratives regarding Sinatra's life and some personal cherished experiences I've had with his music during my life in the Sinatra era. He, like few others, has long captured the interest and admiration of people around the world. Frank Sinatra was born December 12, 1915, in Hoboken, New Jersey, the early 20th century city known as the Mile Square City along the Hudson River. His parents, Dolly and Anthony Martin Sinatra, were pivotal in shaping son Frank's personality, resilience, ambitions, and worldview. An only child in a working-class immigrant Italian family, Frank absorbed toughness, ambition, political savvy, and emotional complexity. Frank's mother was Dolly Garaventa. She was born in Genoa, Italy in 1894 and was the undeniable powerhouse in the Sinatra household. Another fact about Dolly that I found fascinating, she apparently was not even 5 feet tall. She was described by biographers as energetic, fiery, and restless. Dolly worked as a midwife, earning $50 per baby delivery, and was deeply respected in the Italian-American community. She became the community's first ever woman to serve as a Democratic ward leader in Hoboken's 3rd Ward, translating for immigrants in court, helping with citizenship issues, and chained herself to City Hall for women's suffrage in 1919. Dolly's political connections and her street-smart influences extended to her son. She early on believed in Frank's apparent talents as a young singer, using her networks to help him find singing engagements. She doted on him, giving him nice clothes and his own room, but she also was often domineering, strict, and critical. Their relationship, childhood through early adulthood, suggested Frank's steel will and drive to prove himself. Sinatra's father, Antonio Martino, Marty in parentheses, Sinatra, provided a family quieter counterbalance. Born in 1892 near Palermo, Sicily, Marty had once been a bantamweight boxer and sometimes fought in Hoboken using the Irish-sounding name Marty O'Brien to get bouts in Hoboken's Irish gyms. He later achieved the rank of Hoboken fire captain. The family also ran a local tavern named Marty O'Brien's, where Frank sang for tips, absorbing the working-class entertainment atmosphere. Frank later admitted he spent much of his life seeking his father's praise and approval, which was not always forthcoming. Their relationship was gentler but cooler compared to the volcanic dynamic with Dolly. Marty's toughness from boxing and quiet perseverance instilled values of hard work and resilience. Sinatra's parents had the drive to try to improve their lot, exposing their son early in performance in taverns and local spots. Hoboken's Italian community remained vibrant in those latter decades with long-standing family-run eateries and businesses. People, critics, and certainly listeners have at times written about the magic voice of Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra's voice came from a warm baritone with intimate phrasing, breath control, and deep emotional storytelling. He interpreted lyrics conversationally with a style that felt understated, confiding, and personal with a comforting swing. Sinatra viewed the voice as an instrument, avoiding dramatic vocal display and instead opting for a smooth delivery. Despite seemingly effortless feel, he performed with intense preparation, perfect pitch, and control over his orchestra and cues. He blended technical mastery with humanity's heartbreak and resilience, making his music feel human. Here are some quotes attributed to Sinatra. A friend is never an imposition. There are moments when it's just too quiet, particularly late at night or early in the morning. That's when you know there's something missing in your life. Nothing anybody's said or written about me bothers me until it does. The big lesson of life is never be scared of anyone or anything. The best revenge is massive success. Throughout my career, if I've done anything, I've paid attention to every note and every word that I sing. If I can't project this to a listener, then I fail. I have thoroughly enjoyed these golden years where I began playing piano professionally at places like Richardson's Swan Court and Frisco's Patriarchs. I played Sinatra's music repeatedly because it just seemed to make people be glad they're listening to Sinatra. While at Patriarchs, I created an album of my Sinatra repertoire with the choices shown. There's just nothing quite like Mr. Blue Eye's treatments of songs, particularly love songs. At this point in the video, I'll share some strictly personal thoughts and comments about the musician Sinatra. In 1935, 2 years before I was born, Sinatra was a 20-year-old engineering student in Hoboken, New Jersey. He was working as a singing waiter in a New Jersey roadhouse when fate and a trumpet-playing band leader named Harry James found him. Apparently that evening, Sinatra lost complete interest in engineering forever. Band leader James offered Frank a singing contract at $75 a week, but also with a request that he change his name to Frankie Satin. It's S-A-T-I-N. Frank said yes to the contract, but no to the name change. The rest, as people say, is history. The Sinatra-era story had really begun. I can't help but wonder how I Got You Under My Skin would sound if being sung today by someone named Satin. Frank Sinatra made 884 professional recordings, played in 60 movies, and won 11 Grammys and 2 Academy Awards. He also played live concert gigs. And one gig in particular I'll mention. In 1987, Joe and I splurged on good seats and a great experience when we reveled in the live Sinatra concert at Dallas Union Arena. I won't bluster with details, but I will share Sinatra's live critic reviews of that time. Sinatra no longer chased notes. He owned moments. The voice showed its years. The artistry did not. An arena performance that felt like a private conversation. Less about range, more about meaning. Some things I've always seriously appreciated about the artist and the man Frank Sinatra. As a pianist, I often played the accompanist role in weddings, funerals, parties, and such. Regarding Sinatra's music, the iconic music arranger Nelson Riddle and his orchestra shepherded Sinatra's career as an accompanist through much of 7 decades. Riddle's orchestra arrangements behind Sinatra's singing "It Was a Very Good Year" or "Summer Wind" played, I believe, a key role in people's instant recognition even before Frank began his ownership of the musical moment. Sinatra made no secret that he appreciated beautiful women, and it's possible he understood them better than most men. Men everywhere should, no doubt, appreciate Mr. Blue Eye's role in guiding them in appreciating beautiful ladies in their lives due to hearing Sinatra sing love songs to and about beautiful women. I know he'll be long remembered and appreciated for his respect for the power of romantic love. And yes, Frank Sinatra proved himself to be devilish at times, but he also was deeply conscious, proactive, and generous in his awareness of and sensitivity to other people and their needs, as he silently donated over $1 billion to various charities during his lifetime. One more quote attributed to Sinatra, and one of my favorites: "May you live to be 100, and may the last voice you hear be mine." Completing my video, I'll share a treasured experience was remarkably similar to the night Frank Sinatra happened to be singing at a New Jersey Roadhouse theater when, by fate, entrepreneurial big band leader Harry James was in the audience. With family, we sometimes had enjoyed a stay at the historic East Texas Inn, back then known as the Excelsior Hotel. With history back to 1851, we daily enjoyed a perfect breakfast in the hotel's ballroom. Ready to depart after breakfast, I was playing the grand piano before family goodbyes. The manager entered the ballroom with an unexpected opportunity. He discussed wanting to have an elegant Valentine's evening in the hotel's ballroom. We ended that discussion with a date in February 2013 and commitment for a Valentine's evening with Frank Sinatra's music. Joe and I drove away with pleasure at this opportunity for sharing narrative glimpses of Sinatra's life and playing his music for a room full of beautiful, romantic Valentine's guests.
enjoying this elegant and this romantic Valentine's evening at the beloved Excelsior Hotel. I've played Sinatra's music, seemed like all of my life. Tried to learn a lot about him. I have enormous respect for him, and if there was only one musician that had ever lived to bless us, I think it might be Sinatra, in my opinion. But we're certainly glad each of you are here. A little more on piano. You know, there's only 3 types of piano players. Those that can count and those that can't. I'll wait a minute. Great story. A peer of mine was entertaining with piano at a posh Hollywood party. And it came break time, so he got a glass of wine and wandered out by the pool and was going to just enjoy the elegant Southern California evening and the beautiful people. And there were some really beautiful people there that caught his attention right before he slipped and fell in the pool. He immediately began flailing his arms about and yelling and screaming, help me, I can't swim, I can't swim. And another guest, pretty elderly, he had, I think, his 7th glass of wine, wandered out to the edge of the pool and stared down at the drowning pianist and yelled back, so, I don't play piano, but I'm not out here screaming. Let's turn a little attention to Mr. Blue Eyes. Let's take a brief fly with him. He was having a press interview one day with a bunch of news people, and he said, folks, I must tell you, if I had half as many love affairs as he credited me with, right now I would be speaking to you from a jar at the Harvard Medical School.
But I never do anywhere. Send it back. Send it down there. Everybody's tongue.